Hey guys, Maple Notchman here, and tonight I'm going to cover a subject that I don't see a whole lot of people talk about, but to me it's intermediate space exploration. So basically what that means is traveling, 1,500 to 2,000 light years out of the bubble and finding systems that are uncharted. And this is how you can find alien stuff and beautiful, beautiful things. So it's kind of an intermediate video, so you don't have to be fully engineered to do this, but I do recommend that you at least have your frame shift drive engineered, you have an exploration ship built, and maybe even you've gone and gotten the Guardian frame shift drive booster. Some really good ships to do this with would be the Diamondback Explorer and Asp Explorer, your Jumpaconda, or my favorite is the Crate Phantom, which also uses the size 5 frame shift drive, by the way. So if you have that double engineered sweet human tech broker frame shift drive, you can put that in the Crate Phantom too, and still get a really good jump range. Some other choices that people like are like the Dolphin and the Orca. Those are also good distance jumping, nice maneuverable ships. Kind of the bad thing about using a Jumpaconda for this is, usually on that you put really small thrusters and stuff on it, and if you go to land on a 3G planet with 5D thrusters on an Anaconda, you're going to be in a load of trouble. So I'm probably not going to use my Jumpaconda for this kind of exploring. This is kind of a day trip sort of thing. Let me go ahead and hop into outfitting really quick and kind of show you guys what I'm planning on bringing. Alright, so we're going to take a look at the outfitting for this Crate Phantom exploration ship really quick. Hard points, obviously we don't have anything there, so we're empty. Utility mounts, I bring a Xeno scanner because sometimes when interacting with Xeno stuff, you need it. So that's the only utility I bring. I don't bring heat sinks or anything like that because I've never really used them for exploring. I tend to pay attention so I don't run into problems. A small power plant with a little bit of engineering on it. Some smaller thrusters, again a little bit of engineering on them to make them better. Definitely a fully engineered frame shift drive. This is one of the double engineered ones with Mass Manager on it. Just in case you didn't know, if you get the double engineered frame shift drive from the Human Tech Broker, you can still put Mass Manager on it, and it is really, really good. The optimized mass is all the way up to 1856.4 on this one. I think the highest that you could get with the old engineering was like 1600 something or 1500 something, so it's definitely an upgrade. Some lightweight life support, a small power distributor. Basically I run something that's just barely big enough to boost. It probably has a little bit of engine focused on it to help with that. I build these things over in Coriolis before I actually engineer them. And some lightweight sensors. Not really going to need sensors. And then fuel tank, obviously. Going to the optional internals. Bring as big of a fuel scoop as you can bring and as high grade of one as you can afford, because it just makes things faster and easier. There's no weight to the fuel scoop, although the bigger they are, the more power they do use. So be careful with that. If you're low on power, the next thing I would bring is a couple SRVs, just in case you want to go drive around. But if you're low on power, you can actually go over on your right panel and just shut the SRV bay off. That way you're only turning it on after you actually land. I'm running a Guardian frame shift drive booster, a super small lightweight shield with little engineering on it. I like to bring some auto field maintenance units just in case I do some neutron jumping and I need to repair some modules. I always bring 2 of them. I also power these off over in the panel because you only need to power them on when you're going to actually use them. I also bring a research limpet controller and a detailed surface scanner. Gotta have the detailed surface scanner because that's how you're going to scan valuable planets when you find them. Also, not to mention a cargo bay. Now you don't actually need to bring any limpets because if you have engineering materials, you can always synthesize them in your right panel, but you have to have the cargo bay to make room to synthesize the limpets. So, you know, this ship, I just happened to have a spare size 5 slot, so I just threw a big cargo bay in it. Yeah, so moving on. That's pretty much it. Planetary approach suite. Make sure you leave that on your ship because you can't change it out for anything. So kind of the next thing that we're going to do is figure out where we're going. So if you go to your galaxy map, you know, here's the bubble, obviously. You see things like the Coalsack Nebula. Avoid places where other people go, okay? So, you know, you're going to want to plot a couple thousand light years out. So that kind of gets us out in this kind of radius here. But then the other thing is you want to go either up or down, right? Get off the beaten path, okay? So find yourself a direction to go and just head that way. Kind of the swoilz area out here, somewhere I've been exploring. So that's probably where I'm going to head. So I'm going to jump out there. It'll probably take me 20 or 30 jumps. And once we get out there and we start finding stuff, I will restart the video. Alright guys, we're starting to get out of the bubble. I want to show you kind of what I do. So when I enter, I like to scoop up. And then you're going to want to make sure that you have your keybind set for your discovery scanner and your surface scanner if you haven't already. And then switch over to analysis mode, which there's a keybind, I think it's M by default. And so the first thing I like to do is I like to refill my fuel, and then I'm going to discovery scan. And up here in the top right, it's going to tell us how many bodies. 31 bodies. Wow, good lord. Okay. So what I like to do next, because I'm looking for uncharted systems only, I like to come to the system map. Okay. And usually I'll count out if there's 31 bodies, which I'm going to guess this one looks like somebody already scanned it with the full system scanner. So yeah, and that's already been mapped. So this system's dirty. Okay. But sometimes what you'll find, especially systems that were discovered a long time ago, is that maybe there's 20 bodies and only 3 of them were discovered or something like that. And the reason for that is because the discovery scanner used to work a lot differently. You had to equip it on your ship, and there were different grades of it, and the lower grade one was cheap, and it wouldn't scan the whole system. You had to have the advanced discovery scanner to do that. So you know, a lot of these old systems that got scanned didn't get completely scanned, and so I find uncharted stuff actually in the bubble all the time. I have the feeling that's how Raxla is going to be found someday, is somebody charting undiscovered stuff in the bubble. But yeah, so that's kind of my initial process. Once we find a uncharted system, I'll show you what that looks like on the system map, and then we'll go from there. Hey guys, so we're almost halfway to our destination. You know, that's almost 2,000 light years out, and I'm just going to go ahead and start filtering star types. And the reason I'm going to do this is not only am I going to filter for scoopable stars, but I'm going to filter for stars that are most likely to have Earth-like, ammonia worlds, and you know, water worlds, so high value planets. And so how you do that is you come over to your map tab, change, you could do realistic, change over to map here, and then come down to star class. Now if you're just wanting to filter scoopable stars only, then you can uncheck all of these and then hit apply filter to route, and that will update. See how my route just updated? But and that's, you know, KGB foam stars that are scoopable. M's are usually scoopable, not always. But since we're looking for those water worlds, we're going to do just F, G, and K. You can also do M's, but I find that a lot of time with the M's, you'll get a lot of icy bodies, and I really don't want to spend my night scanning icy bodies. So we're just going to go with FGK, And we're just going to keep cruising, and I'll let you know when we find something. Okay, so here's an interesting system. I honked it, and it told me that there were 16 bodies in this system. And when I go into the system map, all I see is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stars. Okay, so I don't see any bodies. So what that tells me is that this system has not been scanned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow down. I'm going to open my FSS, and then we're going to scan some stuff. And there could be something decent here. It says icy bodies, rocky ice worlds, but you know what? Sometimes those turn into Earth-likes or ammonia worlds. So let's see. Oh, here's an icy body. Now another tip is I always wait in the top right hand corner to make sure that the planet is scanned to see if there's any features, because that's how you're going to see if there's any xeno features or biological features or geological features that you may want to go investigate. Typically the geological features, I don't really waste my time with those. However, biological features and xeno features, you absolutely should take the time to go see. So, oh, here's a high metal content world, and see how it's undiscovered? Nobody's ever seen this before. So we're finding it for the first time ever here on my YouTube channel. Oh, I guess there are more things in here to scan. So I'm going to go ahead and scan this system. Oh, okay, so here's one, top right corner, geological unlikely, we're finding scan. Okay. Well, let's see if there's anything on this metal-rich body here. This usually takes, I don't know, 4 geological sites. Like I said earlier, I don't really usually visit the geological sites, but, you know, it's worth finding them. So, you know, you never know. It could have been a biological site, in which case it could have been something really, really cool, like a raw material farm. So I'm going to finish scanning this system. If there's a water world or an Earth-like or something like that, then we'll go scan it. Some people will go surface scan the metal-likes, but I don't do that. I only do it with Earth-likes, water worlds, and ammonia worlds. So I'll let you know what I find. So it looks like we're only about 10 jumps out from our destination. However, I'm already starting to see a cluster of unexplored systems. So something that I like to do is I will go into my course plotter and my galaxy map, and I'll come down here and I'll switch to economy. And as long as I have less than 1,000 light years plotted, I can switch to economic. And what that's going to do is that's going to take me to some of the closest systems. At the same time, these are really short jumps, so I'm not going to have to worry about fuel scooping or anything. So this will be a quick, easy way to see if there's a whole bunch of uncharted systems in this little cluster. Okay, so we've finally made it. This is a system that I've explored before and that I found. You can see where my name's on the planets here. But what's cool about this system is that I found some stellar phenomena here. And those are proto grange clouds. And so to find those, when you're doing your FSS, you'll see it down here as a signal source, and you can actually locate them and then zoom in on them, and it'll say notable stellar phenomena. And then of course you can target it using the target command. Another way that you can find them is just by targeting them on your nav panel. So you can just come in here and target it. It says notable stellar phenomena. Guess I can't talk tonight. So let's go ahead and drop in here and I'll show you guys what these look like. Alright, so we found the what's in the proto-Lagrange cloud. We have these really cool crystalline structures. So kind of our next step is to go ahead and scan these with our composition scanner. Alright, so first things, you want to go over to your fire groups and make sure you've got a fire group for your composition scanner. And then deploy your hard points. And then swap over to that weapon group, and now we can just scan it. I don't think you have to actually have it targeted although I have it targeted and I've already identified it previously. But yeah, so there you go. I got a Codex Discovery voucher, and I was able to scan some data off this. Make sure you look around these sites. Looks like I'm kind of stuck on it a little bit. Make sure you look around the sites because there will often be multiples. Like, see this green one off in the distance? This is a different kind. So we definitely want to come over here and scan this one too. So we just got to get in range and quickly scan it. Yeah, see, I didn't have to target this one. There you go. There's another entry.